Did you know that Satan lives on earth? Yes, you heard me right. But why can we not see him? Why does he seem invisible? The answer lies in the fact that the earth exists in two realms, the spiritual earth and the physical earth. Think about it. Where is Eden today? Where are the rivers Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates, the very rivers the Bible describes flowing from Eden? They are all locked away in the spiritual earth. When God created man, he gave him access to both realms. Man was designed to perceive the spiritual earth and draw divine instructions from it. When God would visit Adam in the Garden of Eden, Adam was supposed to receive wisdom and governance directly from God in the spiritual realm, and then implement it in the physical earth. Eden was the center of God's administration on earth, a spiritual territory from which God governed creation. When Scripture says God placed man in the Garden of Eden, it means he positioned him in a garden that originated from this spiritual Eden. Man's mandate was to rule the physical earth by drawing from the spiritual. But then man sinned, and immediately something changed. God's first recorded question to Adam was, "Adam, where are you?" This was not merely about physical location. God was pointing to Adam's spiritual displacement. He had fallen from the position of authority and governance in the spiritual earth, Eden. Let's dig deeper into Genesis 1. Genesis 1 verse 4 says, "And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness." Genesis 1 verse 14 says, "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and years." Notice the distinction. The first division of light and darkness, Genesis 1 verse 4, was in the spiritual earth. God separated the region of light, goodness, righteousness, angels, from the region of darkness, evil, rebellion, fallen angels. The second division, Genesis 1 verse 14, introduced physical lights, the sun, moon, and stars, for the physical earth to mark time, seasons, and days. Thus, Genesis reveals two separate creations of light, the spiritual light for the spiritual realm of earth, Genesis 1 verses 3 to 4, and the natural light for the physical realm of earth, Genesis 1 verses 14 to 18. Man was originally designed to live and operate in both realms seamlessly. This is why it was not strange for Eve to converse with the serpent, Satan, who was operating from the spiritual earth into the physical. God did not create man just to be a biological being tied to the earth. Man was intended to rule by engaging with the spiritual earth, hearing God's voice, enforcing God's authority, and then manifesting it in the physical earth. Understand this. The spiritual earth is not just inhabited by Satan and his demons. It is filled with a vast multitude of angels as well, messengers and ministers of God's purposes. When Jesus came, he came not only to redeem us from sin, but to restore us to that original place of authority, to that Edenic government in the spiritual earth. His death and resurrection were not only acts of salvation, but acts of restoration, to bring us back to the place where we reign with him. Remember in Genesis, when Adam named the animals, he wasn't guessing. He saw them spiritually and named them according to their true essence as he discerned them by the Spirit. Now, Jesus has come to reestablish our dominion over both the spiritual and physical realms. Why is this important? Because dominion on the physical earth begins by taking authority in the spiritual earth. The activities and interactions in the spiritual realm ultimately shape the outcomes we see in the natural realm. Today, God is calling us. Jesus is calling us back to that place of spiritual dominion for which he shed his blood. He is calling us to walk in victory over sin and darkness, to rule over principalities and powers in the spiritual earth, and by doing so, birth his divine blueprint here on the physical earth. It is time to rise. Dominion is ours. If you were blessed by this unveiling of truth, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this revelation with others who need to hear it. See you in the next episode.